Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Over the last 29 years, WWE has brought in a lot of Wrestlemania celebrities over the past few years. In this video, we're going to be counting down the top 10 celebrities that have come through WWE. Some are going to be very controversial. Some are going to be like a good pop for you to remember that they came through. All of these helped out WWE in one way or another over the past time. So let's just get on with the countdown. At number 10 on the list is Snooki. At WrestleMania 27, around this time, the Jersey Shore was a huge show on MTV. Snooki came in at the request of John Cena, knowing that if she came in, she was going to make a big splash. Honestly, I don't think she moved the pay-per-view buys at all. I don't think any of the MTV crowd came in. But honestly, in my mind, I've never seen a celebrity come into WWE, come into WrestleMania, and really just get booed, and in the matter of a minute, get everyone cheering for them as they left. Snooki came down to the ring looking like she was the biggest heel of all time. She came in the ring, she did like a back handspring splash into the corner, and then she did like a big splash for the pin, got the 1, 2, 3. She was able to get the win for her team, her, John Morrison, and Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus was coming back for the returning a Tough Enough show, and she's started a whole bunch of controversy with John Cena saying she stole Melina's place on the WrestleMania show. Honestly, in my mind, I think that Kelly was the girl who got robbed from being on WrestleMania 27. But at number 10 is Snooki from the Jersey Shore. On number 9 on the list, we have Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker came to the WWE fresh off making Miller Lite beer commercials, making him one of the biggest stars in the world of the 80s. He did WrestleMania 3 and WrestleMania 4. I believe that around this time he was making his TV show Mr. Belvedere, always a funny one as a kid. Bob Uecker, honestly, in my mind, he didn't do a whole lot, but basically he was able to add a little bit of pop culture to those WrestleManias. Like I said, he was really big with the Miller Lite beer commercials. Everyone's going to remember Andre the Giant wrapping his hands and choking Uecker. Uecker will swear to you that story is 100% honestly true. I would love to meet Bob Uecker someday if it wasn't for him doing the announcing for the Milwaukee Brewers. I would hope that WrestleMania would bring him in for an access session or two, but it seems that he's always busy with spring training and the upcoming season around this time. Everyone can remember him doing the announcing for the Major League movies. Always a funny dude. Bob Uecker, number 9. Number 8 on the list is going to go to the tag team of Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy, Playboy Playmates at the time, who had found their niche in small acting roles. Pamela Anderson, huge at this time from doing Baywatch. And of course, you can never forget of Jonathan Taylor Thomas hanging out there on the sign. But basically, Anderson was built up as a big deal. Back to the Royal Rumble, it was supposed to be Shawn Michaels, the winner, was going to be escorted to the ring by Pamela Anderson. The day of the show, Anderson went missing. He had to have Jenny McCarthy fill in. Pamela Anderson was finally found by Diesel, who swooped her up and brought him down to the ring. But at the end of the day, it was Diesel who got to leave with both of these girls. Honestly, they're really on this list because I like hot chicks and I like staring at some titties. Number 7 on the list is Lawrence Taylor, the member of the New York Giants, one of the best linebackers to ever play the game. After his retirement, Vince McMahon made a pitch to have him come in and wrestle at WrestleMania, and not only was it on the biggest show of the year, it was the main event. This was one of the weakest Manias there's ever been. Him and Bam Bam Bigelow as a main event sort of shakes you off your feet, but as a kid who was watching this at the time, there was nothing bigger than this. Honestly, it was at the Royal Rumble. Bam Bam Bigelow was eliminated from his match, and after that, him and Lawrence Taylor got into a little bit of a fisticuffs on the outside, which built to their big match at WrestleMania. I've always liked this match. It's not great, it's not good, and I thought if you put this on any other Mania, and you probably put it like in the middle of the show, or maybe closer towards the end, but not in the main event, people would have remembered this in a better light. But since, it is Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow, the most what did he call himself? If you watch the Bam Bam Bigelow shoot interview, he says, I'm the highest paid jobber in the game. And he laughs about it. But he says he's taking big money to lose to all the guys. And at the end of the day, it's what's in your pocket, not what's, you can't put a win at WrestleMania on yourself. But he got to wrestle in the main event, so here's the Bam Bam. Lawrence Taylor honestly didn't embarrass himself out there like some other celebrities. I thought he wrestled a good damn match. He brought a lot of eyes to WrestleMania. I can remember staying up late to watch the highlights on the Sports Machine. Anybody remember that out there? But Lawrence Taylor, number 7 on the list. The man that everyone can blame for WrestleMania 24 being rare on Blu-ray, and I'm not sure if the DVD is rare or not, but I know that the Blu-ray goes for a good little penny out there on the eBay market. But Floyd Mayweather, the awesome boxer, I guess he was getting bored or he just needed an awesome payday, came in at the Royal Rumble and got into a little bit of a fisticuffs with Big Show, which led to a match at WrestleMania 24. Honestly, I think this was a big eyes on the WWE. I believe a Sports Center covered this. And the match that he has with the Big Show tells a really, really good story. And even though he was trying to claim to people that Vince McMahon was giving him $10 million for this one fight on this one show, I always look at this as being a fun match. I'm sure that everybody's checked this out on the network as one of those matches. It's always going to be one of those moments. Of course, he had to get the win in this. Big Show put up a good fight. It's one of those things that goes great on his resume. I know that, it erases the Akibono match in my mind. This is a real fun match that he went out on a limb and did something with a celebrity that you knew was going to get noticed by WWE. Hands off to Floyd Mayweather, number 5 on the list. Goes to Pete Rose. Pete Rose showed up at WrestleMania 14 just trying to have a good time. Waved to all the people out there and just do ring announcing for the people to come down. And for no reason at all, Kane chokeslammed Pete Rose out of his boots. Hit him with the tombstone there and left him laying. This turned into a good long little WrestleMania feud. I can think of 2 times Pete Rose showing up. WrestleMania 15 he returned. And for some reason I want to think that Pete Rose came out again and did this for a 3rd time with Kane at WrestleMania. But I don't know what started the feud, what kept up with the feud. All I know is WrestleMania 20, Pete Rose got put into the Hall of Fame as a part of the class, as a way to sort of have fun with the Baseball Hall of Fame not having their all-time hits leader in there. Pete Rose isn't a big part of WrestleMania, but the choke slams and the tombstones will always go down as those WrestleMania moments that everyone's going to remember. Number 5 on the list was Pete Rose. Number 4 on the list goes to Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali stood in as a special guest referee for WrestleMania 1's main event. They needed to have a big, top-notch, sort of guy with a big punch in there that was going to be able to throw the heels around there. You think of how packed WrestleMania 1's main event was. You had Mr. T, Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Snuka, you had Bob Orton, Roddy Piper, you had Mr. Wonderful out there. Somebody, had to be out there to restore, order out there, trying to make sure that, legal tags were being made and everything like that. And Madison Square Garden brought in the biggest name that they could find in Muhammad Ali. No doubt in my mind, I know that people paid money to see Ali and see what he was going to do. And there's even a spot in the WrestleMania 1 tag match that Ali gets pissed off at Piper and he throws that big blow. And it's just, oh man, just when the punch goes down, it is a jaw-dropping moment. Like, holy shit. I can remember Buster Douglas came out, and I can't remember if it's a Saturday night's main event or a main event. It doesn't really matter in the long run, but it was supposed to be Mike Tyson, but Douglas beat Tyson, so they had to do the switch so they could have the guy that was the champ there at the time. So this was right after the Japan match, or boxing match, I guess you'd say. But he was messing around with Macho Man. Macho Man took the big hit from Buster Douglas, knocked him out. During I believe it was some sort of a tag match, but I believe it was Hogan versus Macho Man, but I'm not quite sure. But referees have always worked in good with wrestling. But number 4, Muhammad Ali, awesome moment. I know that WrestleMania had a lot of celebrities on that, but to me, Muhammad Ali was the biggest. Number 3 is going to go to Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I think, with the Battle of the Billionaires back there at WrestleMania when they did the hair shaving gimmick with him and Vince was a huge thing. I know that, most people don't really remember Umaga going up there against Bobby Lashley in that match, or even Stone Cold Steve Austin being the special guest referee. I think people just remember the head shaving thing. They don't really remember the match that goes along with it, or the angle of, Trump buying Raw, or anything else that he's ever really done. But to me, what sort of put Donald Trump over in my mind was going back and watching the true story of WrestleMania, and just them going from 93,000 fans inside the Pontiac Silverdome, and Donald Trump going and taking the WWE and bringing WrestleMania to Atlantic City, Trump Towers, or Trump Plaza, whatever it was called, having a much smaller crowd, but Donald Trump knowing that he could use his casino and using WWE to bring in a lot of people to come to his casino, knew that, he was basically, wasn't going to be able to sell all those tickets that they once sold, but basically he is what brought us what Access is today. He started the WWF Fan Fest with people coming in, spending the week at the casino, meeting the wrestlers, doing sort of games and gimmicks. Everyone can remember the Mr. Fuji run that they did for charity there for it. Donald Trump is the guy that sort of built what we all know and we all love today. We wouldn't be going out and buying these VIP Access Undertaker tickets if it wasn't for what Donald Trump did. Number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list is Mike Tyson. I don't think anybody made a big splash on the WWE Attitude Era, which came around about this time, other than Mike Tyson did. Mike Tyson, this was just months after him biting off Evander Holyfield's ear, and even though he did try to play off WWE against WCW, going to Eric Bischoff, trying to use Vince's offer to get more money, it is Tyson which, brought people over. Of course, everybody knows that the night after WrestleMania 14 was the night that, WWF took back the ratings war and really never really gave it back. I think WCW got a slight nudge 1 week with a Goldberg match, but this was the beginning of the end for WCW. Of course, everybody knows it also started off the Austin era at WrestleMania 14. Big numbers. I know I bought this show, and I'm sure a lot of other people did, just to see, even though he was heel going into WrestleMania, you knew that something was going to happen. Much like when you look at other WrestleManias, it really wasn't the match that was going on inside the ring that you wanted to see. You were hoping that anything else was going to happen. WrestleMania 27, hoping that you would get to see Rock versus Cena. I'm sure a lot of people went to buy that. People were really hoping that Austin and Tyson were really going to go into this. And Tyson really did a lot more than other celebrities did to build their fight. He was on a lot of Raws, from the Rumble all the way to WrestleMania, hyping up what was going to happen when him and Tyson got into the ring. Some people might take this as a knock at him, but number 1 on my list is The Rock. There's not any celebrities that are any bigger than The Rock out there these days. The Rock makes movie after movie, and they all make big-time money. When The Rock came back to WrestleMania 27, he was able to push that bar of WWE going back in to big-time pop culture. A lot of people bought WrestleMania 27 just to see what was going to happen between Rock versus Cena. He came back for Rock and Cena at 28. We got to see the rematch one more time at 29. And, of course, everything after that. I don't think that WWE would be as big as it is for WrestleMania 30 if it wasn't for The Rock coming back. Even if we never see him again, I like to thank The Rock, give him this trophy for being the number 1 celebrity of all time at WrestleMania, and say thank you very much, because I know he did a lot for wrestling on that day, and hope we do get to see him again, but I'm not quite sure we ever will.